Hey guys, what's up? It's Queenie here. Welcome back to my channel again. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm back with another hair video. I just want to quickly try something different today that I haven't done in a while. My hair is obviously looking a little bit messy, but we're gonna get right into that. I'm gonna try to do a deep side part low ponytail. I haven't attempted this style in a while. I want to see if there is a better method to this, and I'm going to try to achieve that look that people usually do with their wigs. So it's a very deep part pulling in this way, very sleek with some nice sharp swooped edges. I don't know if it's going to work with my hair, but we will try it and I hope it looks good. So let's get right into this. Okay, let's get into this. So as you guys can see, my hair is in its natural state. It is not stretched at all. You can do this from a stretched state, but I want to show you that this is very much possible from very tight, coiled, dry hair. So you don't have to stretch your hair out to do this very nicely. Okay, so all I'm doing is parting my hair where I want the deepness of my side part. I usually like to align it with the arch of my brow. So I usually don't go further than that. If I go further than that, I find that one side of my head might be too heavy with hair and it won't look so flat and smooth. So it's all up to you. You can choose how deep you want your part. So now you can see I'm sectioning the hair into kind of like a little square. So I'm taking a chunk out of the front, as you can see, and I'm removing that from the rest of my hair. So this is going to be the part that we're working with to really smooth down. This is going to be our swoop-de-swoop section, if that makes sense. So I'm just cleaning it up so then all the lines are nice and good. And yeah, it takes a few tries. Clearly I'm not very good at parting. And then you're just going to tie that away and separate it from the rest, and then we will then work on the back section of our hair and making sure that's nice and smooth. Now, as I mentioned, my hair was damp. It's kind of drying out, so you want to wet your hair. The best thing that you can do when you're creating any sort of slick style or sleek style, whatever you want to call it, is to make sure your hair is moisturized. The hair that is dry and brittle will not lay smooth. It'll get frizzy, it'll look crunchy, it'll look dry. It will not look smooth and sleek and juicy. Okay, so you have to wet your hair, add some leave-in conditioner as you saw, or if you missed it, I added some leave-in conditioner. You want to treat your hair as if you are about to style it properly. So add lots of moisture, add some creams, butters, whatever it is that keeps your hair moisturized before you start this process. You cannot work on dry hair. So now that my hair is wet and moisturized, you can see even as I'm brushing it down without gel, it's laying down so nicely because it's hydrated. You can only work on hydrated hair. So make sure you take the time to do this and to, get your hair into a good space before you start to add gel. Okay, so yeah. Now we're adding gel. So I'm using the Wetline Extreme Gel. This is my favorite. You can use Eco Styler if you'd like. That's another strong gel. But I find that this gel does not flake, so I can keep the style a little bit longer than I could if I were to use Eco Styler. So I'm being very generous with this gel and I'm really slicking it down, making sure it's flat. But because my hair is kind of wet and very moisturized, like I said, it's staying down already on its own. So I don't have to do too much work and I don't have to add too much product to this section of the hair. So take your time, smooth it down, brush it, moisturize, hydrate, add a bit of gel, and your hair should be able to, squeeze into a good ponytail pretty easily. So after moisturizing with water and leave-in and sealing it with gel and brushing it down, you guys can see it looks pretty smooth. So I'm just going to tie it twice around, as you saw. So I'm not making it too tight because we are going to go back and take that out, fix that. So now we're going to work on the front section, which is the most important part. So this part takes a little bit of time. It's a little tedious and it does use a lot of gel. And if you don't like gel, I'm sorry, but this tutorial needs it unless you do it on maybe like a more stretched state of hair. But I'm very generous with gel, and I get a lot of questions about if gel ruins your hair. I personally have not had bad experiences with gel as long as it's alcohol free and as long as you don't abuse it. I don't abuse gel every single day, every week. This is a style that I do once in a while, so I personally don't think this is going to have any harm on anybody, but use your own discretion. You know your hair, but I don't think this is an issue. So as you guys can see, I'm sectioning through in parts and raking gel through each piece, almost as if I was doing a wash and go. That's how heavy on the gel it is. You want to be able to have your hair drop into place because it's completely coated and each section has gel. You can see there's definition. It is like, it's like we're doing a wash and go. So as you can see, because of this, it's already starting to lay nice and flat. Now I can remove the ponytail in the back and I can start to attach pieces that I had from the front into my ponytail, and then I'll be left with a small little bang like this that will be the deep swoop of all of this. So you want to just make sure that you shape this in a way that you can just use that front piece and add and swoop it in the front, if that makes sense. I'm sure you guys can see what I'm doing, so I don't have to explain too much, but I just want to make sure it's clear. But yeah, so that's a little piece that's going to be adding the swoop to the swoop. All right, so in this section, you really want to make sure it is nice and wet and gel down, and brush it to the point where you can kind of feel the bristles on your scalp. That's how flat your hair should be. So take your time and make sure you detangle, you smooth it down, and you add enough product. So then when you're brushing it, it's nice and flat, because we don't want a lump on the side of our head when we do our little swoop. You don't want to make it look like that side of your head is too heavy. It has to look kind of uniform, right? So now that that is done, we're going to add our final piece. So this is the most important part, I guess you could say. It's just making sure that your last piece is, again, very smooth, flat, and stretched out as much as possible. So I'm just adding a bit more gel, brushing it. I find that if I add gel and brush at the same time, it helps stretch it out so then it doesn't crinkle up again when my hair dries. So I stretch it out as much as I can, pin it in place, tie it, whatever you need to do, and then you're good to go. So it's nice and smooth. It might wave up a little bit, but I don't think it will too much. All right, and this part here, I'm just brushing it and making sure it's flat, because how you brush it will also help in the reduction of the waves. So I like to stretch it out as much as I can so then it doesn't kind of crinkle back up. So I'm using pins to really pull it and keep that stretch, so then it can't really wave back up or bounce back because it's being pulled pretty tight and pretty smooth. So you'll see that the front section might wave up a bit, like that one piece I'm brushing, because it's not long enough to attach to the pins. Now it's time to add the swoops on the side, and this is where the edge control comes in. I'm just adding a bit of gel to moisten it up a little bit, because again, dry hair doesn't lay down, so I like to start with a wet gel before I use a edge control. So I'm using my little comb and creating some deep swoops, and then I'm gonna go in with my edge control. This edge control is by Belle Rocher, the best edge control in the world, guys. I don't need to say this again. So I'm just going to add a little bit and then brush it into place, and then we're gonna let that set, and then we're good to go. That's basically it. All right, so far so good. It is looking so smooth. The key to all of this is to make sure that even though there's much more hair on this side, that you can't really tell. So that's why I had to put so much water, so much gel to really smooth it down and pull as much forward as I could, because you don't want to have this side of your head looking too heavy, because that's not cute. So with that done, my hair is in a nice puff back here. So now I'm going to take a scarf. I love to use wrapping papers for things like this, but I don't have any right now. So, and I'm sure more people have scarves at home than they do wrapping paper. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use a scarf, place it over and tie at the bottom. And I'm gonna leave this on until I feel like it's dried a little bit. It won't be completely dry, but I need it to dry a little bit. I need it to set, so then it'll look really good. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this on maybe for about 15 minutes. This is not a do it and go type of style, because then it will start to unravel throughout the day. So I'm gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes or until I feel like it's set a little bit dry, and then that's basically it. So I will be back in a little bit. All right, so it has been about 15-20 minutes, I believe. Honestly, I was not keeping track, but I'm ready to take this off. Whew, child, yes. this looks on point. As you can see, I am having some waving in the front here, but that is no problem to me. Edges are definitely gonna stay. This edge control is the bomb. And yeah, everything looks good. It's very simple. I guess the most important part about this process is making sure that your hair is damp, moisturized, and that you use a good gel, and that you take your time, and that you have a brush to lay it all down. So that's basically the whole process. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it was easy to follow. And yes, you can get your hair nice and flat even if you have really thick type 4 hair like mine. It's possible. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little tutorial. I'm going to enjoy this style for the next couple of days, and I will see you beautiful people in my next video. Bye.